जानकारी के लिए। और इस बीच मुंबई में सेबी बोर्ड की अहम बैठक खत्म हो गई है और बोर्ड बैठक के बाद सेबी की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है। सीधे आपको ले चलते हैं।
As you know, the existing regulation exempt the requirement of minimum holding period of 1 year only for the equity shares acquired pursuant to an approved scheme to be eligible for offer for sale in public issue. So, but if there is an equity share which is coming out of the convertible securities, then this is not available today. So this has resulted in certain investors not being able to participate in the offer for sale in public issue. So this is being extended. This benefit is being extended, and this will assist the companies which are going for reverse flipping. Then in terms of, in the same way, there is minimum promoter contribution, and some of the relevant persons are permitted to contribute their equity shares. And what are these relevant persons? Like alternate investment funds, foreign venture capital, scheduled commercial banks, public financial institutions, insurance companies. These can actually contribute to the deficit in the MPC. But promoters are allowed to contribute equity shares arising from conversion of fully paid up shares for MPC. This is provision is absent for the relevant person. So what happens is that if the scheme of arrangement, these relevant persons have said AIFs, foreign venture capital funds, commercial banks, etc., they get their CCS. They get equity shares from conversion of CCS, then it is not counting. So this will facilitate the arrangements. Then the third important point in this is the ESOPs. Now, under the existing regulations, promoters are ineligible to hold or be granted share-based benefit, including ESOPs. If they hold such share-based benefits at the time of filing of DRHP, they have been required to liquidate such benefits prior to the IPO. Now, this provision has been found to be impacting founders classified as promoters at the time of filing of DRHP. So the proposal approved by the board shall facilitate founders who receive such benefits at least 1 year prior to filing of DRHP, with the board to continue holding or exercising such benefits even after being specified as the promoter and the company becoming a listed entity. These proposals will also, promote many of the startups, etc., when they come for listing, and the founders losing those, they have to liquidate. So if they have been given the ESOPs 1 year prior to listing and filing of the draft DRHP, then they can continue to hold them. However, the board has not approved. I mean, there was, during consultation, some people were saying that even the ESOP should continue to be made available to them even after their listing, post-listing as ESOPs. Those have not been agreed to yet. So this is the first set of proposals. In the second set of proposals relates to promoting dematerialization of existing securities. We want to, as you know, that securities need to be dematted. However, due to various reasons, some of the physical shares are still there. They may be due to different reasons. They may be because the people have deceased and the claimants are not there. It could be inheritance issue. It could also be some love of physical certificates by some. However, at the time of, so a lot of efforts SEBI has taken, due to which this problem has been really reduced. But going forward, we are also saying that when they come up to IPO, then earlier a provision was that at least all the holding of promoters had to be dematerialized. Now we are expanding that list. The following category of shareholders, they would have to be, we are mandating dematerialization of shares held by following categories of shareholders: promoter group, selling shareholders, key managerial personnel, senior management, qualified institutional buyers, directors, employees, shareholders with special rights, all entities regulated by financial sector regulators, and any other category of shareholders as may be specified from board from time to time. So we are expanding the list of the categories who are holding the physical shares to be mandatorily dematerialized at the time of IPO. The third proposal is regarding simplification and streamlining of placement document for qualified institutions placement. So as you know, the QIPs are undertaken by listed companies and they are offered to qualified institutions buyers. These institutions are well aware of the developments. They are institutional players. And listed organizations, there is a lot of disclosures already available. So therefore, this placement document was earlier too long, and that has that's supposed to be rationalized. And this is building on the simplification and streamlining earlier undertaken for rights issue by listed entities. So what we are basically, the risk factors, now we are saying that they can be included only specified in relation to the issue. Not all of the risk factors need to be given. Providing summary of financial position, providing a summary of issuer's business instead of giving detailed this thing. I think there are several such things where we have rationalized, as a result of which is expected that the placement document may be reduced approximately by 40 to 50%. And it will also bring in uniformity in disclosures by all the issuers. Here I just want to point out as a generic case, all of these proposals, there have been consultation papers, public consultations have been done. It has gone to the respective committee and then it has come to the board. So I'm not repeating it for every item, but the same process has been followed, and you are aware that we have now a regulation which says how to bring in changes in the regulation, which mandates public consultations. So all of these cases, public consultations have been held. And that is how I think media already knows most of the time, but this time you will also see in your press releases a little bit of a different version maybe, and maybe you can really very quickly grasp, what is being changed, because all of these are very technical matters. So, of course, if you need further details, you may, of course, refer to consultation papers which give you more information. The fourth proposal relates to the special measures to facilitate voluntary delisting of certain public sector undertakings. Now, there are some public sector undertakings where the holding is 90% or above, that of promoter. Now, they are there due to many legacy reasons, historical reasons, also due to a fact that some of them may not be doing well, but they may have been listed in the past on a very thin, sort of float.
ग्लोबली अनसर्टेनिटी के कारण आज भारतीय बाज़ारों का जिस प्रकार से हाव देखने को मिल रहा है वो इतने ज़्यादा ज़बरदस्त तो नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी एक तरह से कहें तो बाज़ार करीब 1 से 1.5 महीने के बीच में एक 500 पॉइंट की रेंज में ही चल रहे हैं। नीचे की तरफ आप देखो 24,500, ऊपर की तरफ 25,000, 25,100, ये 500 से 600 पॉइंट की रेंज ही भारतीय बाज़ारों में अभी बनी हुई है। जो मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट लेवल है भारतीय बाज़ारों के लिए अब वो रहेगा 24,700 का, वो टूटते ही फिर 24,500 भारतीय बाज़ार आते हुए दिखाई देंगे। लेकिन ये जो ग्लोबली अनिश्चितता है वो लगातार बढ़ती हुई ही दिखाई दे रही है, क्योंकि जिस प्रकार से अमेरिका इस युद्ध में अपनी भागीदारी दिखाता हुआ अब नज़र आ रहा है। कई स्टेटमेंट ट्रंप के ऐसे हैं जिनकी वजह से लग रहा है कि अब युद्ध और तेज़ होता हुआ दिखाई दे सकता है। अमेरिका ने साफ संकेत दिए हैं कि यदि ईरान अब भी नहीं मानता है तो उसे फिर अपनी फ़ौज की तैनाती जो है करनी पड़ेगी, और इटली में और कई जगहों पे उन्होंने अपने सैन्य बेड़े तैनात भी कर दिए हैं और उनको देर नहीं लगेगी उनके जो सुप्रीम है उनको मारने में। उनको पता है कि वो किस जगह पे है। तो ऐसे बयान आते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं जिसकी वजह से क्रूड ऑयल में तेज़ी हो रही है और क्रूड ऑयल $76 से ऊपर पहुँचता हुआ नज़र आया है, और इसी की वजह से भारतीय बाज़ारों पर इसका पूरा असर है। यदि युद्ध तेज़ होता है तो सभी देशों पर इसका जो है असर पड़ता हुआ दिखाई देगा और भारतीय बाज़ारों पर भी इसका सीधा असर पड़ता हुआ दिखाई देगा, ये आपको ही पता है। भारतीय बाज़ारों के लिए FIIs की कल अच्छी खासी खरीदारी देखने को मिली थी, करीब 1,000 करोड़ से ज़्यादा की खरीदारी थी और ख़रीदारी ऐसे ही FIIs की आती रही तो भारतीय बाज़ारों में जल्द ही अच्छे खासे आंकड़े फिर से आपको देखने को मिल सकते हैं। फिलहाल भारतीय बाज़ार आज 24,800 के ऊपर क्लोजिंग करते हुए दिखाई दिए हैं। करीब 40 पॉइंट की तेज़ी आज आई है। नेक्स्ट जो रेजिस्टेंस जोन होगा वो 24,950, 25,150 और फिर 25,200 के ऊपर फिर भारतीय बाज़ारों में ज़बरदस्त तेज़ी आ सकती है। लेकिन जब तक बाज़ार 24,800 से 25,000 के रेंज में है तब तक कोई ऊपर की तरफ खरीदारी के कोई मौके आपको बनते हुए दिखाई नहीं दे रहे हैं। नीचे की तरफ 24,700 का अच्छा खासा सपोर्ट जोन है जो कि मैंने आपको पहले ही बता दिया है। बैंक निफ्टी की बात करें तो 55,000 के सपोर्ट के साथ बाज़ार 56,000 का जोन इसके ऊपर जाते ही बाज़ार फिर 57,000 के रेंज में पहुंचता हुआ नज़र आएगा। तो ये सभी चीज़ें भारतीय बाज़ारों के लिए काफ़ी अहम साबित होगी नज़र आएगी। तो आपकी नज़रें बाज़ार पर ज़रूर रहनी चाहिए। फ़िलहाल भारतीय बाज़ार जिस जोन में है वो जोन एक कंसोलिडेशन का जोन है। जब तक ऊपर या नीचे की तरफ बाज़ार किस लेवल को भी नहीं तोड़ता है तब तक कोई ज़्यादा बड़ी तेज़ी देखने को नहीं मिलेगी। और फिलहाल तो भारतीय बाज़ारों में कोई अनसर्टेनिटी जो है ग्लोबली संकेतों की वजह से दिखती हुई ही नज़र आ रही है। तो ये सभी चीज़ें भारतीय बाज़ारों के लिए काफ़ी अहम है। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए जय हिंद।